Tom. 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Emery? Emery? We're okay? Okay, good. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'd like to welcome everyone to the planning board meeting. Would you please join in the pledge of allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mr. Anderson is absent, Mr. Kashani,
Here.
Mr. Giardina,
Here.
Mr. Kosel,
Here.
Mr. Malta,
Here.
Mrs. Maltman,
Here.
Erica Corsi, she is our junior planner,
Here.
She's here this evening.
and attorney,
We
Chardy.
we can welcome our new attorney. This is his first meeting tonight. This is Frank Chardy. He'll be our new planning board attorney for this year, so welcome.
Thank you.
Again, this is our organizational meeting, right?
Yes.
We gotta nominate, just elect you as chairman, I guess, whatever. But we need to make a motion for a vice chairman.
I'll make a motion that David Malta be appointed Vice Chairman of the Webster Planning Board.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're good for that.
Thank you.
And we need a motion for a secretary.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Mark Giardina as secretary.
Okay, that being a motion, we need a second.
Second.
And have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, good. Okay, we got all the heavy duty business out of the way here. Now we can get down to the facts. Let's see. Mark, why don't we go ahead? You wanna start with that first one there, is the solar panel thing?
Solar PV system, which is located at 1822 Lake Road, the applicant Bell Beechner with Aces Energy is requesting a 24.56 kilowatt AC ground-mounted solar PV system consisting of 64 solar panels and 64 micro inverters on a 5-acre parcel located in a large lot, single-family residential district under section 26911 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Is there anyone here for this application? Oh, yes, sir, go ahead.
Tony, I know you asked once already, Tony.
What's that?
Did you just want to, since people have come in since you last asked about if they're here for that water view thing there, that it's postponed or
Yeah, we
tabled?
could, yeah, we could touch on it. If anyone is here that came in for the water view project, that is asked to be tabled to a future meeting, so that won't be heard tonight. That's a Willow Point project, nobody? Okay, just to clarify it, so everyone has to be sitting here waiting.
it's on the agendas as well.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Steve Mikulojek. I'm with Aces Energy in Honeywell Falls, and we're looking to do a solar system. It's a ground mount system. It's going to be several hundred feet off the road,
Yeah.
behind quite a few trees, setback from the adjoining properties quite a bit also.
Yeah, you actually were in last month.
Yeah,
But then just the way the circumstances worked, reviewed it, had to go to get a variance. Would've been nice if we could've just approved it and went and got the variance and followed through, but I don't think, anybody have any issues that grew from the last meeting? I don't think so.
Nope.
No?
No.
We were all okay with it then, so I guess, I think, we did a seeker on this?
I believe in the last meeting, yes.
We did? Okay. Then we can move on with a motion then, so we wanna
Public
make a
hearing?
motion.
There's
It's
a
a
public hearing, Tony.
Public hearing.
There's a public
Oh,
hearing
yes,
for
you're
this.
right. Again, this is a public hearing. This is for a solar panel project down on Lake Road. If there's any neighbors who wish to speak in regard to it? None? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing for this project. Bring it back. Anybody?
No.
You guys are all right? Wanna make a motion for it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, for preliminary site plan approval, 1822 Lake Road,
Yes, please. associated
associated with the installation of the, solar panels.
with the solar panel project down on Lake Road. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, we're good for that. Anybody? No? Okay, then we'll close the public hearing for this project. Bring it back. Anybody?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, for preliminary site plan approval, 1822 Lake Road,
Yes, please.
associated with the PV system. Subject to PRC comments. Subject to determination of ZBA for requested variances. All improvements shall be constructed according to the specification of the town of Webster.
Yeah, you gotta get that mic.
All site work to be in compliance with the standards of the town of Webster. Comply with all requirements of any state, county, or town agency. And approvals are subject to drawing number, it's sheet number PV 12.
Okay, that's a motion for preliminary?
Yep.
Second.
Need a second?
Second.
You have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Why don't you do a final, too?
I make a motion for final for 1822 Lake Road, subject to project review committee comments, subject to preliminary approval conditions, subject to all applicable government fees, subject to Department of Public Works approvals. Significant construction shall occur within 1 year, is deemed by the planning board to expire on January 7th, 2026. Conditions of preliminary and final approval are depicted on the cover page of the final design plans. Subject to resolution of final approved minutes. Approvals are subject to drawing number, sheet number PV-1.
Okay, have a motion, need a second.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I guess you're all set, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for the delay in it.
Next item on tonight's agenda, in-law apartment located at 1235 Lake Walk. Applicant Daniel Noble is requesting an accessory apartment waiver associated with the construction of an 880 square foot addition to be located behind the existing garage located on a .79 acre lot located in an R1 single-family residential zoning district under section 350-50E of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm Rich Chester. I am the property owner at 1235 Lake Walk, along with my wife Barb. And we are requesting 2 waivers relative to the build of an accessory apartment that will be located behind our existing garage, added to the house to look as though it's always been there. The first waiver is relative to the overall size, and the second waiver is the placement of a front door, if you will, to the apartment.
Yeah, I saw where you've located the door. I personally don't see an issue with it. It's, the way the code reads, you can't have a front door, you know, entrance, and it should be a separate entrance, and where they've located it is good. I don't have a problem with that. Square footage, you're okay with that?
I am.
That's exceeding. Gross living area, the existing house is 2,688 square feet, 888 square feet is the proposed addition. So that falls within the parameters of the code? I believe.
So the code states that accessory apartment shall be limited to a maximum of 35% of the gross floor area of the principal dwelling, excluding the floor area of an accessory apartment, or 750 square feet, whichever is less. So the applicant is within the 35%, but they exceed the 750 square feet, which is the reason for the second waiver.
Okay, so no variances or anything are required now?
That's
So
correct.
He's good, right?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. I was going through your application. Your architect, your engineer did this?
I have our
I gotta
architect.
say, this is one of the most complete applications I've seen in a long time. You did a really good job with this.
Thank you. I'm Randy Peacock.
Hi, Randy.
Yes.
No, you did a good job with this. I went through it all.
I
found
can
all
offer
the
you
issues in
a
it.
few reasons why we're at this size. We did try to look at an addition that'd be a little bit smaller to fit within that 750 square feet. But we're really attempting to incorporate some universal design for future handicap accessibility. So the rooms are a little bit larger to allow for wheelchair access at some point in the future. And there's some peculiarities of the house where this addition fits behind the garage. There is currently, between the garage and the house, an area of the living space of the house that is just over a crawl space. It doesn't abut the basement. So we didn't really have the opportunity to make, it would be less efficient to put the mechanicals for this addition into the basement and make the long runs through the crawl space out into the addition. So approximately 60 square feet of that additional 130 is a mechanical space for a furnace and a water heater there. And the other, you're looking at an area of 10 by 13 roughly over what's permitted. And that gets eaten up pretty quickly when you make the bathroom a little bit bigger to fit a wheelchair, and when you make the bedroom a little bit bigger so you can run a wheelchair can access around the bed.
Where you're at, where you actually have your entrance, you have the sidewalk going alongside the garage there?
Correct, yes,
Yeah,
yep.
it's for an elderly, it's kind of a little bit of a walk going down, but I guess.
It's as required by the code, this is also
Yeah.
accessible through the house, so it's
Yeah.
possible to go through the house. I think the entrance there on the side is, for the most part, designed to allow for a guest to come visit without having to go through the main house. That's why it's done with a little covered overhang area,
Yep.
so you can stand out of the rain when you ring the doorbell.
Okay.
And to be frank, it also gives us room in the future, if it were necessary, to build an accessibility ramp to
Yeah.
run along the side of the
Right straight
garage
up
to get
to
up
it.
to that space, yes.
Okay, that's fine. Again, I don't have any issues with it, this has turned out well.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing, to have an in-law or so on move into a place like that, I think that's good, be commended for that. That's good.
I've already heard from my mother, says, why aren't you building me one? So,
I actually pulled that off one night here, my son was sitting in the back and somebody had the same thing going on here, I said, geez, I hope my kids do this for me someday. She said, oh, I didn't see you back there. Crazy, but anyways, anybody, any concerns on this, Dave?
None whatsoever.
You
None.
okay with it? Yes? All right. All right. All right, let's see. It's actually an accessory. Let me get these papers all reorganized here. All right, well, this would be an unlisted action under seeker, so no impact on the environment on this particular case. It's just an addition onto a house, so I'll make a motion for a negative deck.
Second.
Have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, we're good. Make a motion for approval for, get the address again on it,
1235 Lake Walk.
where is it, 1237?
1235.
1235 Lake Walk Estates, addition, and make that subject to, we can go through this thing, or just conform to the accessory apartment code. The size, they meet the 35%, I don't wanna read the whole thing. Utility service, you're putting all one service?
service for
Yep,
the-
one service, that's required.
one service for the house, sorry.
Let's do it this way, and then we'll just to make sure we're all on the same page, and then we'll just make it according to this code, part of the code. Certificate of occupancy, be delivered to the town building with agreement in form and substance, suitable for recording in the Monroe County Clerk's Office, you know what that is, you're all right with that, variances, there's no variances required. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we approve the accessory apartment and make that subject to chapter 225 of the zoning, route 225-491 accessory apartment code. Okay, we'll make it simple as that.
Second.
All right, have a second? All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, we're good.
Thank you.
Now, is that did we have preliminary and final, or is that just
Just a waiver.
it was, okay, that was it then? All right, we're good. Good luck.
Next item on the agenda, Bill Gray signage located at 964 Ridge Road. Applicant Charles Kelly is requesting a conditional sign approval associated with the construction of two 100-square-foot and one 180-square-foot single-faced building-mounted facade signs located on a 6.7-acre lot located in a high-intensity commercial zoning district under Section 265-7 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
I am Jim Gray from Bill Gray's Restaurants.
Yep.
We were with you guys about a year and a half ago, talking about the front face of the building. We've already completed the liquor store, and now we're moving on to the restaurant portion, and the continuation down to the end for the third tenant, as well as the proposed monument sign that we were asking for on Hard Road.
Now, I'm looking at the sign, and you know what, my concern with the sign is, you're looking for what, 20 foot?
Excuse me?
What were you looking for height for the monument sign?
15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we did talk about maybe taking 10 foot when you were in last November. We discussed it then.
We were, I don't think we really we were set firm on a
Well,
height.
well, the minutes, that's what reflects in the
Okay.
minutes, I went through them. I guess my question is, why do you need a sign that big?
Well, we're just going in based off of some of the surrounding areas. That sign up on the corner of Hard and Ridge is 20 feet high.
No, it's not 20 feet. No, that sign's, I believe, 15 feet. But-
From the
But it
base to
also
the top.
sits down in a low part of the grade too. It's like 3 feet lower than the road. And all the other signs along Ridge Road, they're all 6 foot, and I went through them all today. I just took a survey of them.
The one
And they're
on-
all 6 foot high.
The one
Even where
on,
Hooligans is, it's a 6 foot high sign, and they've got like 16 establishments on it. You've only got 4. So when you're coming down Hard Road, where I'm riding down Hard Road from Ridge, going north, that sign is gonna be a huge panel right by your entrance there. You know? I don't know why it can't conform, I guess, bottom line. You gotta go up to the mic. You gotta go up to the microphone.
Oh.
Yeah, go up, use the microphone. Just give us your name.
I'm Charles Kelly, the general contractor, so you have to go to the north for that, where they're talking. It's not up there, it's down.
yeah, the first sign I was talking about was right there.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And from
Yeah, I think-
top to base, it's 20 feet.
I think, well, okay, if you wanna say it, I'm saying it's 15, but it's it's even lower than the road. And that sign was a pre-existing non-conforming. That's before the code changed.
Okay.
So that sign's been there for longer than you or I, that's for sure. But the other ones are all 6 foot high. And to give a sign that big, what do we do with the next person that comes in? Because the code says 6 foot. See, that's where the next week we'll have somebody come in and say, we want a 20-foot sign, you know? Try and keep things. The other issue too is in our guidelines refers to signage and so on, you know, planning and development guidelines. And a sign is supposed to be like Bill Gray's, like you have there for the sign. But home of the greatest cheeseburger, is that necessary? That's not part of the sign. That's an advertisement up there.
It's part of
That's
their
not what it's-
logo.
It's part of, that's part
It's their
of our
logo on
logo
their
and
other
brand.
stores.
What's that?
It's part of our logo and brand for
Yeah,
for
I
for
know.
years.
You know, McDonald's had brands too. They had Big Golden Arch. We got rid of that, didn't we? You know, so how do we get things into perspective?
Well, I'd also like to make mention that that's based on how the building has been broken up. It's technically 2 spaces, that's what we're trying to say, it's 2 spaces of the same place. Bill Gray's has always been, especially with our restaurant and tap room, they're 2 separate, they're always divided, so they've always been a clear, separate entity for both, and we've always had signage to reflect both. So that's kind of why we're proposing that, and then obviously, the Bill Gray's in the center, to show that that whole section is Bill Gray's, and one side is the restaurant and one side's the tap room.
The Bill Gray's, I don't have an issue with. The 2 on the extremes, maybe if they were made smaller or something, but this is, we're putting commercials up, see, and this is some of the things that we've, according to the guidelines, that's what we gotten away from. Now we're referring back to this again and saying,
A lot of this was originally proposed to you guys back in November,
well,
over a
that-
year ago.
No, I'm talking about,
We did a
well,
3D drawing that had this on it.
Yeah, each one of those signs was present
They haven't
and in the
changed.
same size.
And the only real question
I'll leave it
was
up to
the
the board, I
monument
mean, it's
sign.
everybody's decision, but if everybody goes with this, I'm okay, I'll go with it, but I'm just, it's against everything, and where's the hardship? I mean, you're gonna get a variance next week, you have to go in for a variance for these things, what's it gonna claim to be the hardship?
Well,
You're gonna have to convince the board
okay,
Tony,
that there's a difficulty.
I would just like to mention that
I'm sorry?
discussing the zoning board is not pertinent to this tonight, what they need next week, so let's try and maintain what we need tonight for the planning board.
Well, this has to get a variance though.
Correct,
Well,
but
I'm looking down the road to say, how would gotta look at that side too.
that's for
How
the zoning
can they
board
get
to
a variance
decide,
on
so
something?
let's try and keep it within the parameters of what the planning board can do tonight. Okay?
We're not, excuse me? This is part of the parameters of the planning board, always has been, is to look at what the future is, the next move for this. That's called planning. So the next step for them would be to go to the zoning board. So my question is, how would the zoning board, so helps me to understand, how would the zoning board look at this to give a variance? See what I'm saying? That's all.
Okay.
How
And I
much of a
still ask the
variance is
same
gonna be
question.
requested?
What's that?
How much of a variance is gonna be requested?
Well, for the sizes, I guess, it's oversized for the, and the number of signs on there too. I think, what is there, you got 3 signs on the facade there?
there's 3 there, yes.
Yeah.
But you have two entities. You have a tap room and you have Bill Gray's.
Right.
Mhm.
So they each get 1 sign.
Is there a
So
separate
really, all we're
entrance?
looking for
Is
is
the
the
additional
cheeseburger.
sign.
Is there a separate entrance for each?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yep.
there is.
And based on how all of our tap rooms have always been designed, we make them separate for the fact that we try to keep more of a family atmosphere on the restaurant side, and a tap room for, the sports bars, or keep them separate, to keep our both brands, like that. It's just been the way we've done it for as long as we've built them.
It's like Seabreeze.
So this is-
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
That way, yeah.
Yep. The 10-foot signs, obviously, like I said, I'm proposing they're 2 separate entities, as I was saying. They're also, if we reduce the size of those, then it kind of, our other tenants are 10-foot size, in size, so that kind of shrinking those wouldn't be aesthetic, pleasing, I mean, personally. It would kind of make everything kind of look asymmetrical across the way.
All right, anybody, any issues with
Well,
that?
so then the signs, actually, it's a sign for each different business. The tap room is a separate business.
Correct.
Correct.
right? Bill Gray's is a separate business. So does the signage really?
I mean, they both obviously fall under the umbrella of Bill Gray's, but they are like you said, 2 separate.
Are you going to include an address on the signs? 964?
On,
Since the beginning of last year, we had had numerous signs before us, and the overall perception of the board, at least, was to include the address, make it easier for people to find it, even though everybody has a tracking system and all that stuff now.
I wouldn't think.
yeah, on the building signs or on the monument sign?
Monument
Yeah, I
sign,
think
Oh,
on the
yeah,
monument
we would,
sign,
Yes.
I don't see why we couldn't do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Absolutely.
yeah, make it a lot easier.
Yeah,
Okay. I think that should be one of the conditions if we're going to approve this, that they include the
Okay.
number, the address.
so as far as the building, back to the building sign, is everybody okay with the layout of that with the 3 signs on there?
I mean, I can take or leave the world's greatest cheeseburger, but that's apparently,
I don't remember ever seeing that on your other buildings. The one in Greece, I don't think it has the world's greatest cheeseburger sign.
North Greece Road, I believe, has it. North Greece Road has it. I think, doesn't Ontario have? Ontario has that on, the monument sign has Bill Gray's on the building. It says home of the world's greatest cheeseburger on it.
Okay.
Well, again, I'll just go back to what I just finished saying earlier. You know, the guidelines specific to what a sign is, and it's not for commercializing, it's for the name of the establishment. If you guys are all okay with it, fine with me. The monument sign, when we talked, it's in the minutes from the last time they were in, and the height of that, we went to a height of 10 feet. We cut it down to 10 feet.
I mean,
we can work with
we
that.
can work with 10 feet if we have to, but I mean,
But with the
obviously,
different tenants
Yeah, I
in
mean,
there, you know.
I just don't understand 15 feet. Every sign in town is 6 feet.
the only, one of the reasons why we did that is because again, I went down to the corner by a hard road and the wide waters, where you go into where, M&T is and everything, that's 15 feet tall. I'm just saying, I mean, maybe I measured them wrong, but I met,
That sign is for like Lowe's, and that's for the whole complex.
understood.
And you have a base, you have a base of 4.5 feet here. I mean,
Right,
Can
no,
you remove that
I
base,
I
or-
meant from the, yeah, we could lower the,
No, you got a
could we
you
lower
got
the
a-
base?
You have a
Yeah.
32-inch base, and then the sign goes up from there.
Right.
So, I mean, we can modify it. and
I'm sure you can. I mean, that's
It's just,
that's what
but
that's the
again,
goal.
we're trying to, the tenants that are gonna be in there obviously wanna be advertised. Make it easy and visible for, you know, people to see it as it come up. And it's a busy road.
yeah, but if you eliminate the base or make it smaller, you'd be under the 10 feet. So,
We
I mean,
could
is that-
adjust it to get where we're 10 feet overall.
Getting back to point that I raised, where would you put the numerical address on this sign?
No, we could have, I
We
mean,
would just,
probably on the side of it.
we could modify, we'll modify either on the,
Michael,
yeah, Mike.
Mike's from Skylight Signs, they do all ours.
Yeah, you can put the address right down the side of the side view.
Okay, my x-ray vision isn't working tonight. I can't see you through the pillar, so if you could,
I don't,
Right, over there.
Over there.
17-inch.
the side view?
Do that,
Right here.
Yeah,
Right.
right down on the side there.
because that'll be facing Hard Road.
okay.
Is that double-sided, the sign, or what?
Yes, sir.
Double-sided? Unlit?
Excuse me?
Interior lit?
Interior.
Yes.
Yes, low voltage LED.
All right, 10 foot?
Yep.
All right.
Couldn't you put the numbers on top of Bill Gray, so then as you're heading east on Ridge Road, you could see it?
We can,
We can certainly do that, but again, we want us to lower the sign, so that'll reduce the size of the tenant's panels. So,
But you got 10 feet you're working with. What am I missing here? Everybody's got 16 signs
we
on
can,
6 foot high.
anything you need, sir.
yeah, we can,
We can make it happen.
we'll make adjustments. How would you guys like to see the,
Well, I would
The
agree.
address.
I think you could put it on the side, but I think on the face, that's where people are looking
Okay.
at primarily. You're right.
If it goes on the base, sir, and we shrink the base down a little bit, then the snow is gonna pile up against it, you won't see that.
Yeah, that's,
Having this base.
that's a general story we've heard every sign that's been in. Somehow they all work, but yeah, you can lower it down. It doesn't have to be 32 inches on the base. I mean, if you wait 18 inches, snow never comes up onto it anyways. I've never seen any of them covered. But it's just the size of it. Okay, so 10 foot, you guys can work it out, put the address on it.
sure,
All right, that work with you guys, Dave?
Yep.
yeah.
You guys? John?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right with that? All right. The building, what do you want to do? You want to leave it as is, the way it's presented? Let them go to the zoning board, that's all.
Yeah, I would leave it the way it is.
All right, okay. Somebody want to make we got to do a seeker on this. This would be this would be a type 2 action, negative deck. That be a motion, need a second.
Second?
Have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the sign, somebody want to make a motion for the sign? Dave, whoever?
I'll make a motion, let's see here, for the Bill Gray signage located at 964 Ridge Road. For, what do we have, 200 square foot signs and 180-foot square sign. And on the monument sign there, it's gonna be no taller than 10 feet, and it will have the address on it. Is that everything? I think that's everything.
I'll second it.
That's your motion, got him, okay, you second it?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we're good with that. Anything else on there? Nothing, right?
That's not.
All right, I guess the next step is go to the zoning board.
Thank you very much.
Okay, take care, Jim.
Fourth item on tonight's agenda, Scottage Shortbread Company sign located at 700 Ridge Road. The applicant, Ian McDonald of Historic Signs and Restoration, is requesting sign approval associated with the installation of one 6-square-foot single-faced building-mounted facade sign located on a .46 acre lot located in an MC medium-intensity commercial district under Section 265-7 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Is there anybody here for that?
Apparently not.
Is this, oh, this sign is already up? I think Josh said, or somebody said, that this sign was already in place?
From the renderings provided, it looks like it is on the building already.
It was already in place.
Yeah, yes.
So they put it up without our approval?
There's something in the window I seen, but I don't remember seeing the sign.
No, I don't know.
It's just on the glass.
Okay, so they don't actually have,
No, I don't recall seeing that.
can we approve this without them being here? Ordinarily, we don't, but,
I don't think we should. I think they should come in.
It goes, it's within the code, right, Erica?
Hmm?
What they're requesting is within the code that
Correct.
allows it, right?
It meets
Yeah,
it.
So you could.
It doesn't need any variances or anything like
No?
that, no.
Because it's almost like a replacement from what,
Oh, well.
so we can just approve it. Is it lit? I don't know anything about the sign. That's all I'm seeing is a picture of it, that's all we've got.
Which one is it?
it's just like.
The Scottish
Scottish
shortbread.
Yeah, but is it the blue one, or is it the redwood one? I got two.
I think they should come
We
in.
should wait until they come.
They
Yeah, I
should come
would
in.
recommend
I mean,
tabling
we have no
until the
idea where
applicant
the
is
sign
here.
is or
Yeah,
what color it is or
is it
anything.
backlit?
Yeah, I have no idea. Okay, all right, you wanna have them come back?
Yep.
Tabling it to.
Yep, table it to the February, whatever, maybe. What would it be? I don't know. Well, we'll get it.
Okay.
All right, so we'll table that to the February meeting. Let's see, what else is there? All right, where'd it go? All right, well, move on to the next one, I guess, Mark.
Okay, Legacy Games located at 803A Ridge Road. The applicant, Jessica Costa of Vital Signs, is requesting sign approval associated with the installation of one non-lit 26.6 square foot ACM building-mounted facade signs with digitally printed graphics to be mounted to the face of the building located on a 3.54 acre lot located in a medium-intensity commercial district under Section 265-7 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
And just before we begin on that last number 4, it's tabled to February 4th, 2025.
And we have no Jessica, I believe. This is another one, we're gonna do, table this one also.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table the sign for Legacy Games to the February, what was it, Frank?
Fourth.
February 4th Planning Board meeting.
Okay, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
That's good. Okay, on to the next one.
We didn't take a motion for the,
You get ready? Okay, I'll make a motion that we table the sharp red sign to the February 4th meeting also.
Second.
And a second in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're good.
Okay, next item on the agenda. Brahman Nature, preserve sign located at 1775 Ridge Road. Applicants Lorna Wright, Genesee Land Trust, and Emma Oaks Costage are requesting a conditional sign approval associated with the construction of a 11.2 square foot double-sided freestanding permanent mounted sign on a 71-acre parcel located in a large lot, single-family residential district under section 265-7 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Hi, I'm here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, somebody
We
here.
got
for the
somebody here
sign.
tonight.
Mike Ritchie from Costage Engineering. Emma Oaks couldn't be here tonight, so I'm doing the meeting for her. We are proposing a freestanding sign for the Bremen Nature Preserve. The preserve itself exists. There's a parking lot that this board approved, I believe, last year. And it's essentially a walking trail. The property itself is on the south side of Ridge Road between Basket and Ridge Road Extension. And the applicant, Genesee Land Trust, is proposing one freestanding, non-lit sign. And I believe pictures of another nature preserve as an example was submitted, as well as the renderings of the sign itself. Yeah, that's an example right there of one on, I think on Phillips Road, or not Phillips, sorry, 5 Mile
That's
Line
on
Road.
5 Mile Line. Yeah.
Right. So it essentially would be the same as that, but instead of the Gossen Nature Preserve, it'll be the Eva and Harlan Bremen Nature Preserve, and it'll have the Genesee Land Trust sign below it, so almost identical to that one. This did need to be sent over to the zoning board because the code requires a 25-foot setback, and that would push it kind of into the woods. So we are proposing the sign be 2 feet off the property line, and it's been submitted and it's on the agenda for zoning board next week. So we're requesting site plan approval, obviously conditioned upon receiving the variance from the zoning board.
Okay. When I was reading your paperwork, is the 23-foot sign setback variance requested where 25 is. So what you're looking for is to be 2 feet from the road, not 20. You're not looking for a...
Correct. We're looking to be 2 feet from the road instead of 25 as code.
Yeah, that was...
Right, so it's kind of backwards how it was written. And again, I think an aerial may have been submitted of the site itself, and you can see it's very heavily wooded back there. So if you were to set it back at the setback, it would be pretty obscured.
As with the previous applicant, do you have room to put down 1775 Ridge Road on this sign?
I believe they could. I'd have to check with them. I don't know if that would require to come back to the board or if that would be a condition of your approval. I'm sure they could add the address onto the sign. You're just asking for like the 1775 to be put on it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that certainly can be added to the sign.
Something we came to an agreement last year about new signs coming up.
Just for
And the difficulty
emergency-
of people,
Yeah, first responders.
yes.
Yeah, and then we can work with them, whether that's on the Genesee Land Trust portion one or the one above it. They can just make it slightly larger to accommodate that.
All right. Okay, we can move forward with our approval on this, then we'll have to make it subject to them appearing before the zoning board getting a variance. All right, I'll make a motion for a type 2 seeker on this negative deck. Need a second?
Second?
You have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the sign contingent on the applicant receiving the necessary variances from the ZBA.
Second?
And as presented, I should say, too.
Sorry, jumping on. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, you're good.
Thank you.
All right, you're all set, Mike. Take care.
Next item on tonight's agenda, Vision Auto Group located at 785 Ridge Road. The applicant, Robert Sanders, is requesting preliminary final site plan approval and a public hearing associated with the construction of a 1,400 square foot, 50 by 28 enclosed addition for vehicle service area entry and building facade improvements on a 2.4 acre parcel located in a medium-intensity commercial district under Section 269-11 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. Link Swedrock with BME Associates. We've been here a few times to do sketch plan review with you on this project. The project has evolved over some time, but it's, as far as the building addition is consistent, it's 1,400 square foot building addition for the new vehicle entry to the dealership, create a service area drop-off point, and then external improvements to the building. When we were initially here last year, the board had raised some concerns about the amount of vehicles on it and emergency access, as well as the amount of cars and loading and unloading on Ridge Road. So we met on the site during the sketch plan review. We've been to a couple of different PRC comments. This plan has been revised multiple times to try to address the planning board's comments as well as PRC staff comments regarding the access around the building. Some of the last comments that we've addressed from the PRC included the additional sharrows around the site, we had a no parking line, no parking fire lanes. We've identified all the parking spots on there, and we've also, they're leasing additional property where they're storing more cars and doing their deliveries from now. And then we also just worked with the emergency access and grade out the areas where that is. So this hopefully will improve where people come in and they're dropping their vehicles off for maintenance. The intent is for them to have somewhere to go to drop their car off, be able to drop it off, see somebody at a desk, and then take off for their car to get serviced, where they can either park it in the back or they'll take it directly in for service. So I think I'm going to keep it short, so I'm going to just leave it at that. I think, like I said, I think we've answered a lot of the questions to this point, so if there's any other questions, I'll give it my best.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that area, that maintaining that 25-foot on the side. That's the big issue we had when we had met, talked.
Yeah.
It's kind of tight, but you just can't park cars in there. It's got to remain open. Because it actually is a fire lane then going through there too.
Yeah, so we've
What
tried
you've
to.
done, the way you've redesigned it, that's good. That works out well.
What improvements are you doing for the facade?
Basically, they're just upgrading it to the newest Nissan requirements. I'm not great with the building materials, but it's a installation of new ACM metal building panels and a new SSG glass curtain wall system.
Did we ever get anything showing that?
I have, I have planned, I don't have colors, but I did submit the elevations with the application of the, next one I think has the elevations. So it does have, I do have elevations. I didn't have materials or colors there, but that gives you an idea of, basically what it'll look like with the addition. From the
I'm
front.
talking about the facade itself, the front, yeah, okay.
Yeah, right there.
Just wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna be something like a McDonald's or, crazy colors or anything like
No,
that.
it's all the same materials.
It's the same materials. It's gonna be consistent with there. I think the colors are just gonna change a little, to their new, I think they just try to keep things spruced up as they.
Yeah.
The
They wanna
intent of
keep-
the addition is basically just to bring cars to get them into the service area.
Right, you're gonna pull your car directly in there, you're gonna drop your car off,
Yeah.
and you're gonna head out and leave your car there for, service or whatever.
Okay. All right, this is a preliminary hearing for this, and again, it's a public hearing. If there is anyone here wishing to speak either for or against this, that being any, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back.
I have a question.
Go ahead, John.
You're currently bring in your new cars, you're storing them out in Ontario or someplace?
I believe yes, they got,
When they bring them in, are they gonna be driven in individually, or are they gonna have a trailer bring several cars in at a time?
my understanding is they'll be unloaded there and the cars will be driven from Ontario to the,
Okay.
so they're not loading and unloading on, Ridge Road.
Okay.
All right. Any concerns, questions? Davey,
No?
you good with it? All right, then, we'll have to do a seeker on this. This would be an unlisted action with a negative deck. No environmental concerns on this project. Need a second?
Second?
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Concern in the back was the buffer in the back, but they've shown, we did meet there, they did show where the buffer was actually the full distance, and they were good with that. Didn't look like it initially, but it did conform. All right, I'll make a motion, we approve the Vision Auto Group at 785 Ridge Road, as designed, as presented, and we can just put a few things that we need to have. To make that, there's no variances required, see, no land being conveyed, no subdivision, all improvements so number 8, can you put down?
We're not doing preliminary approval.
This is
final?
preliminary, I'm sorry.
Okay,
So number 8, all improvements conform
okay.
according to specifications of the town. Number 10, all site work to be compliant with the standards of the town.
This is a public, is there a public hearing first, too?
Yeah, I opened it. There was nobody.
Okay.
I closed it. Let's see, comply with all the requirements of state, county, and town agencies, number 12. And that's pretty much it. And as presented, might add in there that no cars are to be unloaded on the road, and that the pass-through along the west side of the building is to remain open for the 25 feet, as shown on the drawings. So nobody goes parking cars in there, otherwise it's gonna be a violation. Anything else you need to have in there you can think of?
No.
Pretty much got it. Okay, that being a motion, why don't you have a roll call?
Anyone second it?
Who said no? Who
Nobody
seconded
second,
Oh,
I'll
you need a
second it.
Mark.
it? Okay. Mr. Kashani?
Aye.
Mr. Giardino?
Aye.
Mr. Malta?
Aye.
Mr. Kosel?
Aye.
And Mrs. Mottman?
Aye.
Okay, final approval, make a motion for final approval, make that subject to any PRC comments, subject to all preliminary approvals, subject to all any applicable governmental fees, and subject to Department of Public Works approvals, and significant construction to commence 1 year from this date of January 7th, 2026. Conditions, we don't have to put that, see, the engineer for the program, we don't need that. Letter, I don't know if you have to have a letter of credit for the town for this, would they?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so, okay, I won't even put it in. Make it all subject to all engineering and town governmental approvals, we'll leave it at that. That would be it, for final approval, need a motion.
Second.
And a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we'll just move it. All right, you're good.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right, Mark, you can go on to the next one.
Next item on tonight's agenda, RG&E Station 73, located at 891 Clem Road. Applicant Eric Thorne, RG&E, is requesting an additional sketch plan review of plan revisions associated with the modernization of an existing electrical substation, including an expanded substation yard with a new fence, control house, switchgear buildings, transformer, and lighting on a 0.77 acre parcel located in an R2 single-family residential district under Section 269-5 and 350-11 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Good
Yes, ma'am.
evening, Mary Stubline from Labella Associates, and I'm here tonight with Eric Thorne of Argini. I was wondering if you have the more updated renderings. Okay, so we were here back in October of 2024 to get some initial feedback on the renderings of the proposed substation expansion. And we've come back with two options for consideration by the planning board. We have received some comments from PRC as well. At this point, Argini would like to be able to move forward with further design and ordering of materials associated with the building and the perimeter fence line, which is why we've kind of focused on those updates within these renderings, and we have not yet really addressed the comments related to landscaping, and those will be addressed during design of the substation improvements. We have updated the quality of the building materials, have chosen some different materials to give it a little more variation and color. And we also have modified the fence from the chain link fence that was provided before to a new high-security steel palisade fence, which appears rather solid in the renderings, but when you look at it closer up, there is space in between the portions of the fence.
Well, you changed the fence on it and everything, I can see that, but the issue I've got with this is, I said the last time, the fence, I think, is an improvement over the chain link that you had there before, but the building's still, not to be, it looks like a prison.
Yeah, so.
I looked up some residential designs for electrical substations, and there's all kinds of them, and they make them look like a house even. I mean, with a gable roof on it that makes it, this is right in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
Sure.
So what can be done to make this thing look somewhat residential? I know you have to have a fence, I understand, but what can make that a
Yes.
flat roof building, I don't know.
Look, it's, again, a residential neighborhood. When you're looking at this thing, it should look like the second story of a house.
That's what I'm saying.
It shouldn't
Put
look
a
like
gable-
this.
Gable roof on it.
There should be gable roof, there should be either false windows with shutters or windows with some shutters. So it looks like you're looking at the second story of a colonial type home. Not this.
I think you did the nail on the head. It does look like a prison or a
Well,
gulag
I
or
don't like
something.
using that term, but I mean.
Well, that's what it looks like
it's
to
what
me.
It looks like, is there any chance?
Or an
of
industrial
mod-
complex, you
What's
know,
that?
and it's not, you know, we don't want an industrial.
No, if it was in the industrial zone, that's different, but
Yeah.
you've got houses all around that whole area. Can that be modified to change the roof style on it, to just make it look like it fits in somewhat, you know?
So, I mean, I can bring that certainly back to the engineering team. You know, we can definitely add some fake windows for sure onto the siding. Just to kind of explain what we did with these two renders the last time we were here, one of the comments from the board was to look at upgrading and improving the building facade materials. So in working with some architectural engineers, we came up with two drastically different material styles. The tan one being a faux brick type material, the gray one being more of a like an aluminum type siding, just to kind of give it more of a residential siding look. In doing so, we're kind of looking to the board to see if there was a preference in the style facade that we can add to these buildings of what might be more preferred. Again, like I said, we can certainly look to add some faux windows to these to make them look more residential, like a second story, like you said.
Yeah, if you can do something with the design of that thing to make it look more like residential. You know, I just went online and I thought, there's gotta be some other way. I mean, you drive around, you see like some of the smaller operations, you know, they look like a house actually, and understand this is bigger and you can't make it look like a house, but a residentially designed electrical substation refers to a substation specifically designed to minimize visual impact and noise levels when situated in a residential area. And then it goes on, I don't wanna read the whole thing, but it talks about aesthetics and so on and so forth, landscaping and, you know, somehow you guys can figure out how to make this thing fit into a residential neighborhood. I'm sure.
And we do.
I know some of the neighbors are already been upset over what was even being done, but understand you can't do anything about that, but let's see what we can do to make it look attractive, you know?
Right. And we do intend to add some perimeter landscaping, which I know was a comment before.
Yep.
And that'll be, you know, built out with the final design once we, you know, have a full grasp on, you know, the full site layout and fence lines.
Understood. Yeah, if you can change the design of the building, a gable roof on them or something to make it look like a house, you know, or an apartment or whatever.
Is there, you know, between these two directions, from the faux styling, is there a preferred option, whether the fake brick look or you know, more of a siding look, which would be the gray one? We don't necessarily have to keep the gray as the color. That can certainly, you know, change if that is kind of the sticking point there. More of a styling aesthetics.
Well, the siding, actually, most of it is hidden because, you know, because of your fence and so on, but.
What if they add a second story, you'll see the siding or
Yeah, I
whatever?
mean, ordinarily, a building, if it was a structure going up, a new building going up and it was in the open, it would be a brick or somewhat of, you know, a designed material, you know? Not just, you know, aluminum or metal siding.
Right.
I don't know what the extent is, how far they can go with something like that, but
Right now, you're showing vinyl siding?
It would be not necessarily vinyl, but like a faux vinyl
Yeah,
siding.
right.
Obviously, we have to keep in mind of the types of materials that are within the
Right.
electrical substation itself. So it would be designed in a way to look that way, but utilizing materials we can efficiently use in a
'Cause
substation.
that's what would fit in the neighborhood.
yeah. Does that help you at all? I mean, something we can,
Yes. Yep.
something we can show neighbors, because there are neighbors that are going to be concerned. I've already heard of
Sure.
a couple of them. Just, if you, again, said 10 times, but just a gable on it, something to dress the roof up.
Okay.
Instead of just a flat roof,
Okay.
you know? I think that's a simple thing to do on something like this, okay?
Yep.
All right, that would make a big improvement on it, I believe.
I have a question. Is that fence, is that 6 foot or is that taller than 6 foot?
It would be an 8-foot
8 foot,
fence.
yeah.
Will there be barbed wire on the top of it?
No barbed wire on the top
Okay,
with
all
this
right.
style fencing.
Yeah, no broken glass, nothing, it's just a nice fence.
This render image gives you a little bit of a better perspective that there is some gaps in the slats of the fence, so it's not a solid black look.
Now, the fence looks fine, I think that's okay, it's just what's above it
Sure,
that's not pretty.
sure.
It's a compound, okay, good enough.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's all there just for sketch plan anyways, just to go over some of the, what, you know, the changes that we're making.
Do we need to set a return date for them, or?
No, that's up to them, to when they, you
Okay.
just reapply for your, when you get the paperwork. We're not tabling it or anything, it was just a sketch.
Okay, all right, great,
Sketch
great.
plan for a review.
No action.
Last item on tonight's agenda, McApplin Industries located on Publishers Parkway. Applicant Matt McApplin is requesting sketch plan review associated with the proposed construction of 120,000 square foot of manufacturing warehouse with tractor-trailer loading docks, parking, utilities, and other associated amenities on a 25.6 acre parcel located in an office park zoning district under section 269-5 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Gentlemen,
Good evening. First and foremost, I just want to vow to the board that we plan on putting a building up that doesn't look like a prison. I'd like to take a couple minutes just to explain a little bit who we are and what we do. My name is Matt McAlpin. I'm the president and CEO of McAlpin Industries. I'm a lifelong Webster resident, grew up here. My wife grew up here. We're raising our 2 kids here. We're heavily involved in the community, especially youth sports. And I just love the idea of our company having a footprint in my hometown. We are a precision sheet metal fabricator. So we offer our customers a wide variety of capabilities. We cut metal, we form it, we weld it, we paint it, and then we also offer warehousing capabilities for our customers. We're celebrating our 61st year milestone next month. My grandfather started the company back in '64. In the early '60s, he decided to leave the family dairy farm here on Salt Road and start a new career. And that's how he started the business in '64. And it's a heck of a story. If you catch me outside of here, I'd love to tell you. We're also a veteran-owned small business. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. We also have a very strong culture. We hire for culture first, and we hire for skill set second. We believe if you fit our culture, we'll find something for you to do here. We also, for a company our size, we have a high level of sustainability efforts. You know, a company our size, you may be surprised to hear that we track our carbon footprint. Not a lot of companies do that, at least our size. And we're also heavily involved in the communities where we currently are. We have a facility in the northern portion of the city. We're also in East Rochester and Walworth. And I won't get into everything that we do, but I'll just highlight one of our big events is our annual charity golf tournament, where we raise funds for local homeless veterans as well as cancer research. So it's been a long road to get to where we are here today. We identified that we needed more space to support our growth well over a year ago. I think it was probably about a year ago now, where I reached out to Matt Chatfield and spoke with him and Tom Flaherty. Put me in touch with, is it Josh Artuso?
Mm-hmm.
And we started the search for property. And the long story short is this is the one that wiggled loose, but it's been a long road to get to where we are, but we're excited to be here. So I also brought with me today our partners with Costage Engineering, Mike Ritchie, which he's doing double duty tonight. And he's going to go over the site plan a little bit with you, but a couple things I wanted to point out. This is going to be a 3-phased approach. Our immediate demand is the first building, which is 120,000 square feet, which we have designed to be on the most southern portion of the property. We believe that facility will create about 20 to 25 new jobs. And then as we continue to grow, we would add to that facility going north. And if you take a look at going from the bottom of the rendering there to the north, there's also a piece of property in the far north portion, about 4 to 5 acres. That's being left untouched. That's intentional. Preliminary discussions with the town is that there's interest in maybe partnering on something on that property. I believe a library was brought up at one point. We're very interested in creating a long-term partnership with the town, and we're very interested in continuing those conversations about how that property can be used in the future. Lastly, you know, one thing that we do internally is we have an internship program, an apprenticeship program as well. And we work with local trade associations, local high schools. We also work with Webster High School. And when we take a look at this property and what we're trying to do to create more awareness of manufacturing in the area, it just seems like it's a great opportunity and even a responsibility to continue our education program and put an education center in so we can bring in young students and get them more interested in manufacturing. So that's our intentions. We're very excited about it. Again, I got Mike here from Costage to answer any questions, and I'll turn it over to Mike.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Again, this is sketch plan, so we're here to introduce the project and receive feedback that you have so that we can apply that to our formal planning board application. So what we are proposing, phase one, as Matt said, is 120,000 square feet, and that's along the south side of the property, kind of the darker portion of the building in the rendering there. And planning for the future, they hope to be successful as they've already been. So we're planning for a full future build-out of up to 300,000 square feet, which we've shown in 2 additional additions there going north. On our plan, we're showing an access off of the, I guess, recently constructed access off of Clem Road that was built for the U of R facility. That access road is actually on McAlpin property. So we would propose to extend that from where it's ended now into the site. We are also, at this point, showing a second access onto Publishers Parkway. And with discussions with Matt, it certainly would not be needed in the first phase, and that may be something that would be considered for future phases. We did receive comments from the PRC. Those 2 comments were related to traffic and requesting that a traffic study be prepared. And the second one was that we show future phasing to maybe clearly indicate what's going to be built first and what's for later. So getting back to the traffic study comment, a traffic study was prepared for this property a handful of years ago when an application came in for a senior living facility. The traffic study at that time did not recommend any improvements to the highway infrastructure then. You know, if this board and town staff feels that in, I guess, another look back at that traffic study is warranted, we could do that. But I would just let everybody know that based on Matt's understanding of what they'll need when this starts up, the first phase, it's anticipated there'll be 60 employees over 2 shifts, with roughly 40 coming in the morning shift, which is at 6 a.m., and then the other 20 coming in later in the day. So when we talk about traffic, usually that 100 trips per hour is kind of the threshold for warranting a traffic study. And certainly in this first phase, we'll be nowhere near that. I think we would be more than willing to maybe make that condition for future phases needing that, because obviously we don't want to cause a traffic issue. But that's something that we can work with town staff. I believe that might have been the town engineer's comment, who issued that comment to begin with. Again, we've done some preliminary engineering. We have the survey done on it. We've looked at drainage. Utilities are available for the property. As Matt had mentioned, the front 4 to 5 acres are going to be left undeveloped, left as woods for now. You know, we believe this is a good use of the property. And some other things I would want to note as well. Matt did go before the town board back in November, I believe it was. This project will require a special use permit. It is in the OP North Core District, so it requires a special use permit for the manufacturing use. And additionally, this project will require a variance from the zoning board because I believe code states maximum building square footage permitted in the district is 45,000 square feet. So those are, we haven't applied to the zoning board yet. Again, trying to introduce the project to the planning board and see what comments you do have so we can incorporate those going forward.
How long do you think this project would take to complete?
Good question. The first building is really immediately. We're looking to be in that building mid-26. The next 2 buildings, that's undetermined at this point. Depends on how quickly we grow, as well as maybe other needs, depending on what we do with other facilities. It could be 4 years, could be 10 years, I'm not sure, but I want to make sure that we have that flexibility to support our growth, because one thing that's constant in our industry is it's always changing, and you got to move quick or you're gonna miss the opportunity.
And I would add to that, you know, we thought it was important to not just show the 120,000 square feet, but to plan for the future so that infrastructure can be put in the ground to accommodate, you know, future impervious areas and roof areas. So that's why we've shown that also. Usually want to do that for secret purposes as well.
How many loading docks?
We're, the first phase, I believe it's 3 loading docks, and then showing 4 additional in the future.
Yeah, it's, I believe it's 2 docks with with 1 ground loading dock.
And in the course of a day, how much traffic do you generate? How many trucks usually?
On average, maybe 3 trucks a day.
So that's what I'm getting at, so it's minimal.
Yeah, very.
The impact on the neighborhood is minimal, that's.
And I know Mike said that our first shift comes in around 6.
Yeah.
The majority are there either at 6 or earlier, so, and being right next to the expressway, it's, even when they leave at the end of their shift, there's not a whole lot of traffic in that immediate area.
Is this 18-wheelers coming in?
Yeah, probably 2 18-wheelers and a box truck.
Is that driveway off of Hard Road where it goes up to Flom Institute, is that big enough for 18-wheelers?
Yeah, that's part of what we're analyzing right now. We go back to the county to widen that driveway to accept the radius for the semi-loading. And that's something that we will show on the application, the formal application.
This is not for you guys, but when you're coming into that driveway now, if you're heading north on Hard Road, there's, what should be a left-hand turn lane is all painted with stripes. Is there, I don't know whether you can find out if that's gonna be eventually changed to a left-hand turn lane?
I can talk to the town highway and engineering department to get an answer for you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see anything that's, I think, let's just use this the other way. What was originally presented was for townhouses and apartments and stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
That would have been a zoo.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That would have been a zoo
It would
in
have
there,
been, yeah.
with that much traffic in and out of there.
Yeah.
This, if anything, minimizes the amount of traffic in the area. It's an established business, they've been in town for, as you said, many years. Was your grandfather Frank?
Yes.
Huh.
And him and my grandmother are still here in Webster.
Yep, I know. Good people.
I'm assuming all these vehicles, they'll just be, when you come on Hard Road, they'll be going right up to 104, so they won't be actually going down into the residential areas.
Yeah, you're right. Yep, you're right. So it's close to the expressway, you're not traveling through residential areas with it. I guess the next step is proceed forward.
Great, thank you.
Great,
Looks good.
great, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, sure. What, it's not a public hearing, but I know you live right across.
Yeah, I live right on.
Go, why don't you, listen, hold on, why don't you go up to the microphone, just for the record, put your name and. I know you live right across from it there. so-
Debbie Thiesing, corner Hard Road and Publishers Parkway. My question is, the road that is on Publishers, the little road, no one's gonna be using that? No trucks are gonna be using
Yeah,
that?
so this was a little bit of an older rendering.
Okay.
So right now, the plan is, especially with the first building, is not to put that road in. So our first sketch had that in. We don't even think we want that in, even in the building 2 or building 3. When we meet with the town to figure out how they would like to develop that, they will probably put something in for that parcel, but as of right now, the newest plan won't have that road in there from
Okay.
Publishers.
Because it's, as you know, Hard Road and Publishers Parkway is a zoo from 2:15 to 3:30 in the afternoon. You cannot even turn, so a truck could not even enter that. And they never do traffic studies at that time of day. And every parent of a Willink and Thomas student parks their car along our whole yard, both ways, and waits to pick up their kids. And there's been no good answer for that. So tractor trailers and that kind of traffic would be very prohibitive.
That was one of the preliminary discussions on, when do your employees come to work?
Right.
Hopefully they don't come to work at 8 a.m.
Yeah, you don't, but I mean, as far as the project goes, This is 150% more acceptable than what I've seen in the past. I mean, this originally was my family's land, so I can tell you that I've seen lots of projects be presented for this area and have shuddered at all of them. And the last one especially was horrible, and some of the other neighbors asked me, oh, you going to the meeting? And, because they know I come to the meetings, and I said, you don't want to oppose this. You know, I said, you really don't, because it's the best fit for a really busy area, so.
I'm glad you're happy now, Deb.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks a lot, fellas.
Thanks.
Okay, that it? We got everything?
We have to approve 2 sets of meeting minutes.
Yeah, one was the big set. What was that? That was, yeah.
It was in November.
Would like to make a motion to approve the November 12th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second, all in favor?
Aye. I'd also like to propose approval of the December 3rd, 2024 meeting minutes.
Second.
Second for that. Have a second, all
No,
in favor?
second. Aye.
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 Good with that. All right, we're good.
Thank you.
Okay, I guess that's it for this evening. Thanks for coming in.